So, they're not actually leaves. Leaves are
they're feathers.
green.
Of course they are, because there's a little bit of fluff coming off there.
Yes, and it's
Speaking
pink.
of fluff, you got fluff all over you.
And
We're going to be on
pink.
in a moment.
No, we're on now. The red
Why are we
light's
on
going.
now?
Welcome to Kids Church!
And welcome to our house.
And welcome to your house.
But that's it. Our house and your house. Because we're all stuck at home.
We are, but stuck in a lovely way with our families.
Yes. And our pets. Hang on.
Our pets.
Listen.
Now she's
No,
quiet.
she's quiet now.
Yes.
Hey, Sharon, I had an idea.
Yes, what was your idea, Ben?
Well, you got to watch.
Whoa!
Hey, look at that.
The lights went on.
The lights went on.
We don't have lights
We
there.
do now.
Wow, that is so cool.
We have some bluish lights there now.
That's very, very cool. I
Yes.
do like that.
It's nice, isn't it?
I do. It sets the mood.
Yeah.
or
I
a
mean, we can change the
tone.
light. Look, it's red.
Ah, that's a bit scary.
Yeah, it's a bit scary, isn't it? And bluish.
purpley blue.
But I think that
This one's
that one's nice.
I like that one
Yeah.
best. So, that's really cool. It also highlights something.
It does. It highlights our timeline.
Our timeline that we started last week.
That's right. Are we going to add to that this week, Sharon?
Oh, I hope so.
So do I.
Okay, so just to recap, we had two ends of our timeline, a middle, and then we had a little lady walking.
We
halfway
did.
along.
That was
You should remember.
Ruth.
Ruth.
That was
Yes,
Ruth.
and not Church Ruth.
No, and if we were on this, we would be right. It's just
Oh, I still get so tricky.
over, and we'd be
Right
right,
at the like
end
of now.
there.
Yes.
There's a lot of time in between now and Jesus.
Yeah, it's like 2,000
Yeah.
years. I haven't
I
even
wonder
been...
where would like my grandparents be? They'd probably still be just like
near
there, wouldn't
the
they?
start of the end, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
And that's like lots of time ago.
that was like lots time ago. You're right.
Do you know what that reminds me of?
No.
I've been doing investigationing.
Have you been investigationing?
I
What have you been
have.
investigationing?
I actually investigationed my grandparents.
Did you? Did you find anything interesting?
I did. I found more grandparents.
How many grandparents did you have?
They were great.
They were. Oh, right. I see what you did there. Right.
So I was thinking about how there's me and then there's...
Hang on. Instead of just telling them, let's show them.
Let's show them
Let's show
pictures.
them.
Okay, I think I've got... Because I did the research on my computer, so I've actually got a picture on my computer.
All right.
So I'll
There it is. Let's put it up on the screen.
there. All right. So you can see here, and I'll show like different names gradually. All right?
Okay.
So at the moment, you can just see me, and then my name's Sharon. So
Yes.
first of all, that was my starting point. And then I had my mum, and her name is Keitha. She's named after her uncle.
Ah, yes.
And then I thought, well, who's her mum? Her mum is my grandma.
Mm.
Her name was actually Ellen, but everyone called her Nell.
Oh, okay.
That was a cute name for that. And then I actually didn't know the names before that. So
There you go.
I tried to find out their names. So my grandma's mum's name, her mum's name was Elizabeth. And
Ah.
she's my great grandma. And then her mum's name was Catherine. And she was my great great grandma.
Great
Great.
grandma. Yeah.
And that's like 5 whole generations of...
That's a lot of generations.
And like there's even more generations under me now because like I have my own daughter and she would be below me on this tree.
She would. But Sharon,
Yes.
that's really interesting and everything, but what on earth has that got to do with anything to do with kids' church?
Well, it's all this stuff.
Oh, the timeline. Right.
Yes. So like this is a timeline. Well, I did a timeline that went this way, but this is a timeline that goes this way.
Yes.
And I was thinking, how can we do a timeline that goes like from creation and goes all the way past Ruth's time to Jesus?
That whole way. Right at the very start or a little bit further in?
I tried to go back as far as I could,
Right.
but I didn't get right to the start of creation. But I found out a whole lot of information from Matthew chapter 1. Because someone had already done all the work of doing a timeline.
Well, I should get my Bible and I'll look it up. Hang on, I'll get it for
Okay.
you.
Oh, I've already got it here though, because I also made another picture of
awesome.
my research. So
That saves me a lot of time.
I'm
Thank
going to put these pictures up now.
you. Yep.
I can't pronounce all the names because some of them have really tricky old names from the Bible. But I'll show you them all, and then you can just imagine how to pronounce them, or ask maybe your parents because they are tricky.
Right.
But anyway, let's get started. So I started with Jesus. So he was where I was going to start. I was going to start right in the middle of the timeline.
I know his dad. Not personally, but I know his name. It was Joseph.
Oh, Joseph, yes, because he's in the whole story about Christmas. You get to hear about him a lot.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, I knew that his name was Joseph. I'd heard that, but I didn't know Joseph's dad's name.
I had no idea.
Jesus' grandpa.
No.
So apparently it was Jacob.
Oh, there we go.
Not the Jacob at the start of the Bible. Different Jacob.
Okay, different Jacob. And that was a different Joseph. He didn't have a fancy coat.
No, different Joseph
All
as
right.
well. So, so it was Jesus and Joseph and then Jacob. Then that's when we start hitting the names that I can't pronounce.
Ah.
So then
like
there was
Mathan
and then
Eleazar.
and Eliud and Achim or Achim or Achim. I don't know how to say that. And then it just keeps going back all the way. And I went back 14 generations.
That's a long time till we hit Ruth. That's
No, Ruth isn't here yet.
Ruth. Oh, okay. Ruth isn't here. That's a long time though.
Yeah, this went all the way back to
It's 14 generations there.
Yeah, all the way back to the exile. And
okay.
They're talking about the time of the exile in normal church at the moment.
Ah, yes.
So about, who are they talking about it with? Ezekiel.
Ezekiel. Yes.
So he was during that time. So that tells you about how many generations ago this was. But there was more.
Right.
More information. So I kept going back. So, time of the exile, keep going back, and there's like Josiah and Amon and all these dads of dads.
You stopped reading out the names there because you didn't want to pronounce them. Oh,
you know me. And it goes all the way up the top.
Wow.
Another
all
14
the way back
generations.
to Ruth there.
No,
not to Ruth.
We haven't got Ruth.
But hang on, that's 28 generations so far.
Yeah, and Ruth's never going to be a dad on this timeline.
That's a valid point.
We're only looking at
who
the
does she
dads.
marry? We haven't found out who she marries yet, have we?
Well, she did get married a week ago.
A week ago?
But her husband died.
Oh, yes.
So that was in week 1, but we haven't found out, and she didn't have any kids.
No.
So we have to find out if anything else like that's going to happen again. So anyway, I kept going all the way back up and went another 14 generations all the way to Solomon, which we've heard of.
We have. He's wise.
He is wise. He wrote some books of the Bible.
Yes, he did.
So there's like Song of Songs or Song of Solomon, sometimes it's called. There's also Proverbs, which they have lots of wisdom in it.
They do.
So that was 14 generations. But then I didn't
stop there.
But wait, there's more. Yeah, there's more generations. So we kept going back to all the more dads. So Solomon's dad was...
David.
Yeah, and probably the most famous David of all in the Bible, the King David.
Yes.
So he was very famous. Not perfect.
No, he made some pretty ordinary mistakes, didn't he?
He did, but he did lots of good things as well.
He did.
And most importantly, he loved God. But then we went, his dad was Jesse, then there was Obed, and then...
Boaz, we heard about him.
Yeah, he's in the timeline.
He is.
In Jesus' family tree.
His dad was a fish.
He
salmon.
Looks like it. I'm not sure that's how
is that
they
the Jesus
it.
fish?
Not quite. But there is something. It's not pronounced salmon, I don't believe.
Probably salmon.
I think that sounds better. So then it went all the way, 14 generations back again.
Wow.
Until we got all the way to Abraham.
And he was really, really old when he had kids.
He did. And one of them was Isaac. We could see
there we
there
go.
on the timeline.
Oh, and there's another Jacob as well.
There is. 2 Jacobs on this timeline.
Wow.
So this is all the work that I found in Matthew about
That's a lot of
Jesus'
work.
family tree. So Abraham, who was made those promises from God about the world being saved through his family.
Yep. And they talk about Father Abraham.
Well, yes, they
Sometimes.
do. That's I've heard
Because he was the
songs about
father,
that. He was
the father of many.
Yeah, so like the dads of the dad of the dad of the dads. So, yeah, God's promise being that the whole world would be saved through his line or his family means we can see now that
what that meant.
many kids later, there was Jesus in his family. And, of course, Jesus is God who saved everyone.
Wow.
Well, can save
That's
everyone.
a pretty cool timeline.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about that. So if you ever want to look it up yourself, you can go and look at the first chapter of Matthew, and sometimes those lists look really boring, but I found it quite interesting when I drew it as a picture.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
So, and now I know where Boaz fits into all of that timeline.
It makes a lot of sense. And we're going to hear more about Boaz a little bit later.
We are.
But first, I feel like we've been sitting down for just a little bit too long, and I really need to stretch my legs.
Wriggly.
Yeah. And I think these guys probably need to stretch their legs as well. So why don't we just go to a song?
We should do.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.
We're gonna praise your name. We're gonna praise your name. 1, 2, 3 from A to Z. Before the world came to be, you are. You are. Almighty God. On and evermore. Your kingdom reigns over all. You are. You are. You're the Alpha and Omega, the everlasting Savior. Almighty God. Almighty God. We're gonna praise you. We're gonna praise you. Almighty God. Almighty God. 1, 2, 3 from A to Z. Before the world came to be, you are. You are. Almighty God. On and evermore. Your kingdom reigns over all. You are. You are. You're the Alpha and Omega, the everlasting Savior. Almighty God. Almighty God. We're gonna praise you. We're gonna praise you. Almighty God. Almighty God. We're gonna praise your name. We're gonna praise your name. We're gonna praise your name. Almighty God. We're gonna praise your name. You're the Alpha and Omega, the everlasting Savior. Almighty God. Almighty God. We're gonna praise you. We're gonna praise you. Almighty God. Almighty God. You're the Alpha and Omega, the everlasting Savior. Almighty God. Almighty God. We're gonna praise you. We're gonna praise you. Almighty God. Almighty God. We're gonna praise your name. We're gonna praise your name. We're gonna praise your name. We're gonna praise your name.
That's a good song. I wonder if you think about what trusting God really means. What does it mean to trust God? Because our memory verse at the moment says, trust God completely. That's a pretty difficult thing to do. Sometimes we get tempted to, well, not trust God, but do what we think is the best thing to do. Maybe we think it's a bit safer to do what feels comfortable. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, we were just learning about Naomi and how her family, well, they left Bethlehem because they didn't trust God completely when there was a famine. They didn't trust God that He would provide for them. Trust God completely. I wonder if you've ever thought, am I trusting God completely? I know there's some things going on in the world at the moment, and they're pretty hard to deal with. It's pretty scary sometimes, isn't it? But this memory verse really should help us a lot. It tells us trust God completely, and, well, we don't need to worry about just using and depending on our own understanding. That means we don't have to know everything. We don't have to know all the answers. We don't have to learn everything there is and worry about everything in the world, because God has got it all planned out, and as long as we put Him as number one, well, we only have to trust Him. That should make us feel a lot safer. So, as we do this memory verse, I want you to think about the meaning of this memory verse. What does it mean to you to trust God completely?
Trust the Lord
completely
and don't
depend
on your own
knowledge
with every
step
you take. Think about what
he wants
and He will help you go the
right
way. Proverbs chapter 3
verses 5 to 6.
You are slow to anger, rich in love. You rain down blessings from above. Down, 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 you pour those blessings down. All my sins are washed away. In you it's a brand new day. High, 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 we're gonna lift you high. And I will worship, 'cause you are worth it. I will lift my hands in praise, give you honor all my days. I will worship, 'cause you are worth it. You are King above all kings, for your glory I will sing. You are slow to anger, rich in love. You rain down blessings from above. Down, 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 you pour those blessings down. All my sins are washed away. In you it's a brand new day. High, 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 we're gonna lift you high. And I will worship, 'cause you are worth it. I will lift my hands in praise, give you honor all my days. I will worship, 'cause you are worth it. You are King above all kings, for your glory I will sing.
As high as the heavens, 24/7, is your great and loving kindness.
We're gonna lift you up, praise your name, we're gonna praise your name.
Always remember the things you have done, for giving me life through the gift of your Son.
We're gonna lift you up, praise your name, we're gonna praise your name. And I will worship, 'cause you are worth it. I will lift my hands in praise, give you honor all my days. I will worship, 'cause you are worth it. You are King above all kings, for your glory I will sing. We're gonna lift you up, praise your name, we're gonna praise your name. We're gonna lift you up, praise your name, we're gonna praise your name. We're gonna lift you up, praise your name, we're gonna praise your name. We're gonna lift you up, praise your name, we're gonna praise your name.
Are you ready to hear the next part of the story of Ruth? Okay, so let's do a quick recap. We've had Naomi and her family go all the way from Bethlehem, where there was a famine, to Moab. Now, in Moab, we've had Naomi's 2 sons marry women from Moab. But very sadly, we had Naomi's 2 sons and her own husband die. But then there was a bit of good news. We heard that the famine in Bethlehem was over. So Naomi decided to go back to Bethlehem. And Ruth decided to go with Naomi, even though there was no reason that she needed to go. She decided to follow Naomi's God and also to go with Naomi, and left her own family behind in Moab. So, next part of the story, we were back in Bethlehem with Naomi and Ruth. Now, they were very poor. They didn't have lots of money. They barely had any food. So, Ruth went out into a field to gather food, gathered grain and barley, and once she was out there, she met the owner of the field, who was Boaz. and he was very kind to her. He'd heard about her kindness to Naomi. And from that, he offered her protection and work in the field every day. So Ruth came home to Naomi. Naomi heard she'd been working in Boaz's field and was so excited because Boaz was actually part of Naomi's family. So she knew that he was a very good man. What's going to happen next, though? Well, that's what you're about to find out. Make sure you've got a comfy seat and let's hear it.
Naomi was excited. Ruth had been working in Boaz's field. Boaz had been kind to Ruth, and Naomi now had a plan. Naomi called Ruth and said to her, "Ruth, you should have a husband. This is what I want you to do. Tonight, Boaz will be working late. Put on your best clothes, put on perfume. Wait until it is dark. Go down to where Boaz is, but don't let him see you. Wait until he has eaten. When he falls asleep, go and lie at his feet. Take the blanket off his feet. He will tell you what to do." Boaz woke up. He saw a girl lying at his feet. He asked, "Who's there?" Ruth answered, "It's Ruth. Please spread your blanket over me." Boaz knew that Ruth was asking him to marry her. Boaz stood up and said, "May God bless you. You have not gone after younger men. I will do what you have asked." But Boaz had a problem. There was someone who was a closer relative to Ruth. So Boaz went to the town gate. When Boaz saw the closer relative, he called him over. Boaz called the important men of Bethlehem as well. Boaz said, "Naomi is selling her land. I thought you should know. Do you want to buy it?" The close relative said, "Yes, I will." Then Boaz said, "Then you must marry Ruth as well." But the close relative said, "No, I can't. You buy it." Then Boaz took off his sandal. This showed everyone that the deal was done. Boaz married Ruth, and Naomi was very happy. After they were married, Boaz and Ruth had a baby boy. They called the baby boy Obed. Obed was King David's grandfather, but their most famous relative was Jesus. Jesus was Ruth and Boaz's great 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 grandson. Boaz was kind to Ruth. Last week we saw that he protected her and gave her food. This week Boaz buys her land and marries her.
God is kind to us. God had to buy us back to rescue us, and he did just that. God had to send his one and only Son, his Son Jesus, to buy us back. It was the death of Jesus that saved us. Jesus died to set us free from the problem of our sin. We know Boaz rescued Ruth, but it was Boaz and Ruth's great grandson who rescued the whole world.
So we see in this week's story that Boaz became Ruth and Naomi's redeemer. He redeemed them from their poorness. It was a kindness that he showed because it was part of God's plan. It was just a very small part of God's enormous plan. A plan to bring the greatest Redeemer of them all, Jesus. Jesus would come 30 generations later to redeem all of us from our sin. So let's spend a little time thanking God for his amazing plan and thanking him for giving us Jesus, but also asking for his help so that we can show kindness to others, just like Boaz showed kindness to Ruth and Naomi. So I reckon they look like planets.
No,
actually.
no. I mean, it's night sky colour, but it's just dots.
Oh, it does look like you've been painting with copper paint and it's just dripped on you.
No, they're just dots.
Dots.
Red
oh,
dot.
dots.
We've started.
Red dots. We've started again. Right.
Okay.
Okay, we should have actually been concentrating then, shouldn't we?
I'm just thinking. We've done everything for today.
That's it. We'll see you later, guys. We'll,
We don't say goodbye like that.
don't we? Okay, how do we do it?
We've got to say it nice because we
Oh,
know
okay.
we're going to miss these guys.
We hope you have a wonderful week and we'll see you later.
Well, we do hope they've learned a lot
We do hope you've learnt
because
a lot.
that's the whole of the story of Ruth now.
Oh, when she marries Boaz and then they have a baby and that baby goes on to be, the great grandfather of Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me.
Does it?
Yes. There's something I forgot at the start.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you forget? Or forget?
I got a present for you.
I feel like I've seen this box before.
It's one of our favourites.
Do I open it? Okay.
Yes, because it's a present. Open it, please. And you're going to have to show these guys because they'll want to know what it is too. It's
It is.
not a secret. People.
It's people in a box. It's awkward. Okay. So let me open it this way. Ugh.
And you have to show it to the camera so they can see.
And, well, okay. So, first person in the box is a bebe.
It is a baby.
A bebe.
Yes, the other people might give you some more context as to which baby it is.
Okay.
Unless, of course, you were paying attention in the story.
I was always paying attention in the story. Yes, I was.
And who was that?
This is Boaz.
It
That's
is
Boaz.
definitely Boaz,
Boaz.
who provides context for the baby. Who was the baby?
Boaz's baby.
Yes.
Boaz.
Oh, no. What's something you sleep in?
A bed.
Yes. Obed.
Obed.
Yeah.
Oh, the baby was Obed. Of course the baby
I was
was
trying
Obed.
to give you a clue.
Yeah, I should have paid attention a little bit more.
Yep.
And I can't wear that. It says David on it. My name's not David.
No.
It's David's crown.
Yep.
And good old Abe.
Yes. Abe's like a nickname that you can give someone with a much longer name that starts with
Reginald.
Abe.
Oh, okay. Archibald.
Abe.
Oh. Well, you said a longer name that starts with A. Archibald
Abe.
is a
It
longer
starts
name.
with Abe.
Abe.
Who was in the Bible a long
Raham.
time ago. Yes, you've got it.
Abraham.
Okay.
So that's Abraham.
Yes,
So
that
like the
is.
great, lots of greats.
Many
Gotcha.
greats.
Well, thank you for that, Sharon.
Yes, but I was thinking with what we talked about in the first part of today's kids' church with doing the family tree, maybe we could put them on the timeline.
We got Ruth up there. We should put.
all these other
that's
people.
Ruth's baby.
It is.
That's Ruth's baby.
Do you want me to do the pushing?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Ruth's baby.
So, this is Ruth. She is holding grain at the moment. I might change that, and she can hold the baby.
Oh, hang on. Ruth's baby's father
Yeah.
was Boaz.
It certainly was.
So can
and
I hand you Boaz?
You can definitely hand me Boaz.
Boaz.
And Boaz is stuck up there.
And well, there's a crown there.
Now,
that
which
crown.
side does David go on?
Well, I feel like David was closer to the time of Jesus than Ruth and Boaz were to Jesus. So I think
this
it must
side
go.
or this side?
No, in between Ruth and Boaz
Okay.
and Jesus.
Okay, so we'll pop David here.
Yep. Oh, and I've got one more, Sharon.
What's your last one?
Abe.
Abraham.
Abraham. Now, he was right at the start. Now, he wasn't near creation. He wasn't right at creation, but
He was closer to
he was
creation than
closer
these
to
guys.
yeah, absolutely. So he was the great. Well, he started that whole what we call lineage. He
that's a
started that
fancy
whole line that we looked at there, that family tree line. So I think that's a good spot there, Sharon.
Yep. Good work, Ben.
Oh, well done. All right, I'll put this box down.
And we can remember that Abraham was given the promises from God.
Yes.
when he had no kids.
He didn't have any
Him and
kids.
Sarah had no kids.
They wanted kids.
They did. He was given a promise of land. He was given all kinds of promises. And one of those promises was that through his family, which he didn't have any yet, the world could be saved. And we can see now that we've got Abraham.
Yep.
And through his family, it eventually points to Jesus.
It does.
And Jesus is the reason that we can all be saved.
Yes. Well, that's good. Thank you for giving me those people to put up on the timeline and putting them up there.
No, not a problem. That's fine. So, I hope that helps us understand how Ruth fits into the story of the entire Bible and God's plan for all of us.
Yeah, because she was a very, very important woman in the Bible.
Yep. And obviously was with Boaz as well.
Yeah.
So they were part of God's plan for all of us.
Yep. But I think that's about it.
I do too.
So I think maybe we go to a song.
I can tell you want to dance.
I do. Really, really want to dance.
Anyway, maybe they want to dance.
Yes.
Cool. Well, it's going to be time for you guys to dance, and then after your dancing time, you can have some time to do the worksheets and the activities and the studivities, whatever it is that you've had been able to be printed out. I'm not sure that was a proper sentence.
Probably not, but you know what we're
But
getting
I
at.
think you understand, because
Yes.
we've kind of been doing it for a while now. Anyway, we hope you have a good week in the next week. We know it's a bit tricky being at home all the time.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult.
Doing your remote learning. We hope that you're able to get through the next week and, like Ruth and Boaz, be kind and remember that God loves you.
Yep. And have a good week, guys.
Yep. So, bye.
See ya.
Amazing grace, how can it be? The King of Kings is here with me. From the highest heights to the valley low, I know you're never gonna let me go. Every day you're with me every way. Every day you're with me. No matter what comes my way, I know that you're here to stay. Every day you're with me. I once was lost, but now I see. The King of Kings is here with me. You're here